We aren't creating a web database for this course, but the process you'll see here is the only way to create a table relationship in a web database. It's also the easiest way to create lookup fields for any database. We'll use the Assets and Suppliers tables, and before we start, we have to discuss a few rules. First, you can only use lookup fields to create the relationships in a web database. And second, when you enable referential integrity, you can't use cascading updates because SharePoint doesn't allow them. Third, and this isn't really a rule, it's easiest to use the lookup wizard because it creates the relationship and the foreign key field for you. What's more, the foreign key field works as a drop-down list so you can select data from the table on the one side quickly and accurately. For example, when you enter data for a new asset, you can easily choose a supplier. Start by opening the table on the many side of the relationship, and you'll see why as we go through the process. Click the first blank field in the table, and then click Lookup and Relationship. That starts the lookup wizard. Select the first option and click Next. Click the table on the one side of the relationship and click Next again. Now here you need to select a field that users can understand. In this case, it's the company name field because that's what identifies each supplier. Make sure the field moves to the Selected Fields pane and then click Next. Sorting is optional. In this case, I'll sort the company names in ascending order, but I can click the button to change that to descending order. And that leads to yet another rule. If you don't choose a sort order, Access sorts the items in the list by the values in the primary key field in ascending order. On the next page, I'll hide the key column because seeing the primary key values won't help anyone use the database. I'll make sure the field shows me the correct data, supplier company names, and click Next. Give the field a name that makes sense, and then select Enable Data Integrity here. That sets referential integrity for the relationship. If you want, you can enable cascading deletions, but remember you can't enable cascading updates because SharePoint doesn't allow them. Click Finish, and you can see the new field in the Assets table. That's the table on the many side of the relationship, and it works just like we saw earlier. So, one final rule. You follow these steps to start creating one-to-one and many-to-many relationships. We'll show you how to create both later in this course.